In the blink of an eye, his blissful days with his little sister are suddenly stolen from him forever by a certain being. What lies in store for a man sworn to vengeance? Find out as you follow him on his enthralling mission for revenge with the aid of his sword imbued with the flames of his intense anger and hatred. This is Bloodwing Hunter by Ryuji Kunimoto. It is a new series on Shounen Jump Plus. At the time of this recording, Chapter 2 just came out. And a lot of people are kind of calling this Kagurabachi at home. I can kind of see where they're going with that. This does kind of feel like what people assumed Kagurabachi was going to be, with the super edgy character and just like the darker themes and stuff. We kind of get that, but I don't want to necessarily call it Kagurabachi at home. I feel like that's kind of being a disservice to this series. So what exactly is this series about? So the series takes place in our present day universe, only there are angels around, and these angels are evil. 5 years ago, angels suddenly appeared for the first time in Tokyo City, and they slaughtered a bunch of people. And the military showed up, and they weren't able to do anything. Like, their bullets just pretty much bounced off of these angels. But this one man showed up. His name was Haruka. And Haruka was able to dispatch of these 4 angels. And Haruka formed this group called the Black Umbrella Covenant. They are basically an angel hunting association. And people who can kill hunters are people that have unlocked this ability called the Predator's Drive. The Predator's Drive is when you have this primal urge to hunt and it overflows. So every human being has a primal urge to hunt, because we grew up from hunters and gatherers. And even in this modern day setting with all the technology and stuff we have now, even though we don't need to hunt, we still have that urge within us. But only certain people have the urge strong enough to overflow. And when that urge overflows, you unlock the Predator's Drive, which is an ability that can bestow upon you powers. For example, one character has the ability to imbue his sword with flames, and those flames can burn angels. So our main character is Hikari, and Hikari is a third-class hunter under the Black Umbrella Covenant. 5 years ago, the day that the angels appeared, Hikari was awoken by his younger sister, Sana. And Sana is just a very cheerful, playful little girl. She loves her big brother. She's super excited because today is her birthday, and she has a brand new raincoat. And the previous year, she has brand new rain boots. And now she's hoping that it'll rain so that she can go outside with her raincoat and rain boots. And Hikari decides to take her out as a treat. And she's just happy. She's singing. She loves being with her big brother. She tells him, I left a message for you on mom's phone. It's a video. I want you to see that when we get back home. And then all of a sudden, this peaceful life gets destroyed when the angels show up. And the angels start lifting up a bunch of people and then just shooting beams and killing all of them. One of these beams ends up hitting Sana through the chest, through the heart, kills her right in front of Hikari. And Hikari, it looks like he takes a blast to the head and to the chest as well. But he survived. He awakens in the hospital sometime later, and he sees his mom next to him, and he sees his sister. And he's wondering what the hell's going on, because last he saw his sister, she died in front of him. And so Hikari asks his mom what happened to Sana. How is she? And the mom immediately starts crying and has to leave the hospital room. And Sana leaves with her. And Hikari is just like, what's going on? Like, I can see my sister right there. And that's when he notices his mom has left her phone on the nightstand. And he remembers the message that his sister gave about looking at the video. So he looks at the video, and the video is Sana recording herself, talking about how happy she is, about how she wants to grow older so that she can be in the same school as her brother. They can wear the same uniforms. They can be together, not in the romantic sense. I have to point that out because this is a manga. But basically, she loves her big brother and she looks up to her big brother. And she feels like the older she gets, the more she can spend time with him because they can go to the same school and stuff. She says that she loves her new coat, she loves her new boots, but the thing she loves the most is spending time with her brother. And then that's when he breaks down, because he realizes that what he saw in the hospital isn't his sister. His sister died, and he runs out into the rain and breaks down and starts crying. And the anger at the beings for killing his sister is so intense that he starts developing flames. And that's when Haruka shows up and assumingly brings him on board the Black Umbrella Covenant. And now, in the current day, Hikari is a third-class hunter, super powerful. We see him easily dispatching of angels. We have one moment where there's an angel harassing some schoolgirls, and he easily just kills it, one-shots it pretty much. And he has this thing where he starts trying to question the angels. He questions them about the day 5 years ago. And the reason why is because in all the newspapers, according to all the eyewitnesses' accounts, there were 4 angels that appeared that killed a bunch of people in the city. However, for a brief moment, Hikari saw a 5th angel that was controlling the other 4. But no one else has seen this angel. No one else has talked about this angel. According to everyone else that was there were only 4. Even Haruka only noticed 4 when he showed up at the scene to kill the angels. Hikari is the only one that noticed that there was actually 5. And so he's on this quest to find out what is the 5th, why can no one else see it, and where is it exactly, because I need to kill it. I want to kill it to avenge my sister's death. And so we see him dispatching of another angel later on in the same issue. We see that the angels have different powers, which is pretty cool. Like, not all angels are the same. Not only do they appearance-wise look different, except for the 4 angels that attack the city, they look pretty similar. But individual angels have their own individual appearances, their own individual personalities. They actually have personalities, which is another interesting thing. And they all have their own separate abilities. One of them that he attacks can control a bunch of arms, can like manifest a bunch of hands and stuff. He even has like a wing made of hands. And the thing is because he's obsessed with hands, especially human hands, especially young girls' hands. He likes to eat them and stuff like that. He finds beauty in them. And we see how Hikari is able to use his ability. The angel is getting beamed by Hikari, so the angel dives into the water. Hikari dives in afterwards, and the angel's like, you fell into my trap. Like, you're not going to be able to use your powers or your sword ability underwater, but I can. But then Hikari unleashes his predator drive, which imbues his sword with fire, but also imbues him with fire. The fire is so intense because his hatred is so overwhelming that it burns the water around him, allowing him to use his sword to dispatch of this angel and burn it to a crisp. And that's pretty much what this series is. It's Hikari on this mission to destroy all the angels he comes across, as well as trying to locate the mysterious 5th angel that only he has witnessed. While Haruka didn't witness the angel, as soon as he saw Hikari and he looked into his eyes as Hikari told him that there was a 5th angel, he believed him. So he's going out and he's trying to locate any information that he can, and they might have a lead. And that's as far as I'm going to go into describing what we got so far. I think this series is actually pretty decent so far. It is generic, I will give you that. It's your typical demon hunting story, only replaces demons with angels, but you have your typical hard-ass main character who's just filled with nothing but anger and hatred and doesn't really take time to do anything else. Like, his whole personality is just killing angels. That's it. He doesn't seem to have anything else going for him. He doesn't really have a civilian life. He doesn't really have any other personality. He's, I guess, generous to his fellow employees and stuff like that, but he doesn't go out of his way to hang out with them or anything like that. It's kind of like your typical just edgy character. There is a lot of promise here, though. I think the artwork is really good, especially the fight scenes. I think the action scenes are pretty awesome. I like the basic premise that we have about angels attacking humans and stuff like that. I do like the whole Black Umbrella Covenant situation. I'm a huge fan of like demon hunting associations, demon hunters that go after demons. Like, that's like my favorite genre to read about. I'm hoping that the story eventually finds its own identity. I'm willing to give it a chance. I feel like some people are already kind of bashing this series just off of the first chapter alone. Some even after just the first 2 chapters. Whereas I'm one of those people where if you watch a TV show, for example, you'll notice that the best seasons are never really the first season. It's very rare that the best season is the first season. Usually season 2, season 3, that's when you get to the really good stuff. And I like to try to give that to mangas and comics as well. I like to give series a chance to find its own identity, to basically find its own groove. And I think that's the one issue that Bloodwing Hunter needs. Right now, it feels pretty generic. It's your typical generic demon hunting story, only with angels instead of demons. Your main character feels like your typical hard-ass, stoic character, and he needs to find his own identity. He needs to find his own personality. I want to see more from him rather than just all he lives for is hunting demons. So I'm hoping that once we are introduced to like some of these other characters, they can bring out different aspects of him. I think that's one reason why Kagurabachi is so successful. It's because it starts off with your typical edgy character, but then the more you see of him and the more he interacts with other characters, you start to see different aspects of his personality, and you realize that he's not just a hard-ass, stoic character. He actually has a personality of his own. And so I'm hoping that that's what we get with Hikari. I do think that giving him a sword, especially a katana, feels kind of stereotypical as well. I think a perfect weapon for him would have been like a spear. If your whole theme is that these are hunters, when you think of a hunter, what's the first weapon you think of? For me, it's a spear. So I think a spear would have been like a pretty sweet weapon for him to use. And it would kind of set apart, because how many anime protagonists do you see where their main weapon is a spear? Can you even think of one? How many have you seen where their main weapon is a katana? A lot. So I feel like right now, this is very much a paint by the numbers type of series. And I think that it needs to start finding its own groove and kind of starts finding its own identity. I know I've used that phrase a lot in this video, but that's the biggest issue with this series so far, is that it's a little bit too generic. It's not bad. I enjoy it, but I'd give it so far like a C. It's average in the sense that it doesn't really do anything too new. It's not doing anything bad. It's very generic, but what it does well. The artwork is great. Action scenes are great. I like the story building, the world building, but again, it's just things that I've already seen before in other series. It hasn't really done anything new. So I think once it starts branching off into new territory, then we can see if the series is really going to succeed or not. Right now, it's a little bit too generic, but I'm hoping that with a little bit more time and with the next few chapters, Ryuji is going to start finding his flow, start finding what this series actually is, and we can see it drift away from the genericness and become its own thing. So yeah, that's Bloodwing Hunter. I like it. I enjoy it. It is kind of generic though. But I'll leave a link down in the description below where you can read it for yourself and judge for yourself. I see a lot of potential in this. So here's hoping that it actually reaches that potential and doesn't just end up as another flop. I guess we'll see. But I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you next time. Take care. Later. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I still want to thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next one is more to your liking. With that said, thank you once again, and I hope you guys and gals have a good one. Later.